Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update of extreme importance 1 day before my birthday, Tuesday, August 27th, 2019 at midnight. Guys, if you don't know who David LaPointe is and what the Primer Fields are, you will before this podcast ends. Now, around 6 years ago, David LaPointe put out some of the most amazing experiments using electromagnetic technology, and he's going to share it with the world for free, and we're going to break it all down for you. Not only that, the 70,000-foot stratospheric injection by Sheveluch on the 24th of August is still confirmed. It has not been picked up by the mainstream. I'll share with you the data, where I found it, how to interpret it, what flight level means, and what it means for our future and reporting. But before that, we start with an amazing tornado in Malaga, Spain, just hours ago.
Deja ya tanto el postureo. Deja ya tanto el postureo. Niño, deja ya tanto el postureo.
I love it when a plan comes together. Keep calm. It's boom time. Vehicle owners assess hail damage after Sunday's storm. Yes, this is up in Bismarck, North Dakota. Golf ball size hail claimed dozens of vehicles, apparently, as hail increases worldwide. Dorian approaches Barbados. Future beyond the Caribbean is uncertain. We're going to show you the models. I predicted 2 days ago this would break apart. Now the mainstream is predicting the same. Wow. Imagine that. Watch massive Madrid hailstorm flood city streets and wash away cars. Madrid is under torrential downpour of rain and hail as it sweeps over the city streets, washing away cars and anything else in their path, including sheep. Bah. We have some footage here of the sheep washing away. Oh, magic. That means bad. Very bad. That means oh. That was loaded. Or maybe it was this one. I don't know. Let's watch this one. This looks good. Wait for it.
Loco, ¿qué hacemos, Rafi? ¿Qué hacemos? No podemos hacer nada.
Loco, please.
No podemos hacer nada, hijo.
I hope that wasn't your car, Jimmy.
¿Qué va a hacer los bomberos? Se va algo para abajo.
Es un río. Nuestro coche se ha quedado ya atascado. Este blanco es el mío. Joder, ha destrozado todo. Está liado una narganda. Llama a mamá a ver cómo está.
Not looking good down there in Spain. Looking insane in the membrane, as a matter of fact. Farmer's Almanac predicts colder than normal temperatures. We brought this to the forefront a week ago, and now it's taking hold. Yeah, it is. Lots of snow and long winter. The words used to describe the forecast for Philly, which, thank God, I moved out of. Lots of snow and a longer winter. Yes, frosty, wet, and wild. It's a weather forecast for Philly and the rest of the Northeast. The Farmer's Almanac predicts 2019 to 2020 winter to be cold, wet, and snowy. Well, I wonder where I heard that before. The Farmer's Almanac just released the predictions for the 2019-2020 winter, and it's going to be a cold one. The Almanac's forecasters say the Northeast corridor from D.C. to Boston will experience colder than normal temperatures for much of the season and above normal snow. Ho, ho, ho! Where's my Red Rider? Polar coaster winter is what they're calling it. Farmer's Almanac predicts the polar coaster I can't even say it. No one's going to say that. Wow, but there's still snow being reported here. It looks like some Alberta, British Columbia snow coming Monday through Tuesday, which will be your lose day. A little bit more snow moving out into eastern Canada in the middle of summer. It's going to be a bummer. Florida is within 5-day forecast cone of Tropical Storm Dorian, now expected near Puerto Rico with hurricane strength. This is going to become a hurricane near Puerto Rico, break down and weaken as it travels towards the panhandle of Florida. Trust me. That's my official word. Word up. Tropical Depression 6 is going to move up here and destroy Halifax, and we'll show that to you in a moment. And Dorian's going to come up here and maybe tippy touch the east coast of Florida as a tropical depression sometime on Monday. But not before it hits San Juan hard. Here we see it on Wednesday, probably making landfall. And let's just run the model through for you. This is the European model, in case you were wondering. I'm going to float over here in the middle of the Atlantic for your pleasure. Now, as you can see here, midday Wednesday, according to the European model, strafing the southwestern shore of Puerto Rico and then hitting the eastern shore of the Dominican Republic as it re-enters the ocean to potentially re-strengthen. The only problem is it's a lot of warm air being blown across this thing. So most of the models are suggesting it will break down. It stays intact here, but only hits land here at 40-mile-per-hour winds sometime right here on Sunday, midday, according to the European model. But not high winds at all associated with this. And I'll just come in here and give you a quick sweep. 33-mile-per-hour on the model, 36, not even picking up a 40. So not a major event, should break down many days out. No worries in Florida. Excessive heat in the west, however, is a worry from the fearmongers. Tropical Storm Dorian, blah, 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 while it snows up in Canada in August. Western cities, including Phoenix, Las Vegas, and Medford, will be hot because it's the middle of the summer, Tuesday and Wednesday. Temperatures will push over 100 degrees. That's unheard of. Did you know that every city was over 100 degrees across the U.S. in 1934? I think 40 out of 50 states had hundreds of locations over 110. That was a hot time before global warming. The great failure of the climate models. Computer models of the climate are shite, and they've been pushed by IPCC, and they've been pushed right down through your neck. And if you read this article, you're going to find out that these models are short. And what's happening is that crops are failing and no one's listening. And they're blaming global warming. Corn feast at Saskatoon Farmers Market canceled because it was too cold and too wet, not because it was too hot and too global warming. $1 an ear up in Canada for sweet corn. $1 an ear. Arr, buccaneer. That's insane. We get it free for $1 down here. Good year. Climate alarmists foiled. No U.S. warming since 2005. We did have those articles out of sync there, but it's no worry because I want to draw your attention to the contiguous U.S. average temperature anomaly. And let's open the image in a new tab. We're always learning something here in the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, like how to open images in new tabs. Just right-click on the image you want to open in a new tab and click on Open Image in a new tab. And that image will appear in a new tab. Do a dab. Contiguous U.S. average temperature anomaly clearly shown here from 2005 to today. It's actually almost 2 degrees cooler than 2005 today in the U.S. based on the data that has not been adulterated by Michael Mann's hockey stick or NASA or NOAA. Even though this is NOAA data. NOAA now knows that since 2016, the temperature has dramatically dropped 6 degrees Fahrenheit in the U.S. Maybe 7. Give or take a half a degree. Jeez. And Michael Mann's case against Tim Ball was dismissed. We reported on this when it happened. Tim told me this morning by the BC Supreme Court, and they awarded him court costs, and that makes Mr. Michael Hockey Stick Man liable for not providing the data, which he could be in criminal contempt for. So we're going to be watching this story closely, and we're going to have Tim Ball on live to discuss his big win and to show you where you can donate to his ongoing plight. I mean, he's put up millions of dollars for this. Now he gets the court costs back for at least this case. There are several other cases he's been totally ramrodded through. Now, have you heard, with all this carbon dioxide we're accumulating, it's actually greening the earth. We've reported on this over the last 2 years, and I just wanted to report it on it again so that you didn't miss it. From a quarter to half of Earth's vegetated lands has shown significant greening over the past 35 years, largely due to rising levels of CO2, which is plant food, which are now being taxed for, and governments worldwide want to scrub out of the atmosphere to kill the forests and kill you. Those are the facts. Isn't that amazing? Why everything they said about the Amazon, including that it's the lungs of the world, is wrong. Well, we already pointed this out a few days ago, and the fact is that there is no increase in fires in the Amazon or Brazil. Here's forest fires in Brazil, decreasing since 2005, and the majority of the fires since then have been lit by humans during deforestation projects for palm oil and other dumb shit that all you pricks eat at the dollar store. So it's your fault for one time here. The fires are your fault, but they're not even increasing. So because it's your fault, they're getting less, which is even more insane. Now let's talk about the claim that the Amazon is the lungs of the earth. Now, if you read the article, it basically says that the claim that the Amazon is the lungs of the earth has 0% credibility in the scientific community and is based on no information except someone said it once. In fact, the respiration in the Amazon, because it's such a huge biome, is basically carbon neutral. It eats as much CO2 and produces as much oxygen, which then gets burned by forest fire to be neutral. It's not creating any oxygen that you breathe, the Brazilian rainforest. Anyway, but I digress. Once again, we've proven that 100% of all the shite that you get shoved down your neck from the mainstream is shite. It's fake news. It's based on no facts whatsoever. Want some facts? We're going to show you some. That's why you're here. Space Weather News. Let's update it. We are entering a seismic uptick for the next 48 hours. We have multiple coronal holes. A major one that's equatorial has just passed us. We are just coupling with it. There is some jigginess here with the density, and the phi angle is still Earth to Sun. So we are not... When this blue line comes back down here to the north or hits 180, hello! We're getting sun to earth, or we're getting perturbations that are typical for lithospheric flexure, which means earthquake in layman's terms. You can see here the magnetogram has dropped quite considerably. We could see some perturbations happening to satellites. It's just minor electron storm happening now as we couple with the coronal hole. No seismic warning right now, but in the next 48 hours, that phi angle could shift to 180 and then back to zero, towards zero, which would be sun to earth. And we could be looking at some lithospheric flexure in the form of earthquakes. So let's check out the current earthquake pattern here and see what we have. Peru is my #1 hotspot for a blot echo activity in the last 24 hours for a major quake. So watch the Peru area over the next 48 hours, as well as Vanuatu. As always, we have some moderate depth, and I'm concerned about Japan also. 126 kilometer, 4.9 could come to the surface as a 6 magnitude or greater in the next 24 hours. So watching Japan and Peru, those are my two prime areas to be watching during this earthquake uptick. So buckle your seatbelts. A raft of volcanic rock the size of Manhattan is floating towards Australia. Now, this information started coming out about 7 days ago. I was going to report on it, but it was insignificant. But the raft grew, and it's now ginormous. It's 56 square kilometers. And I uploaded a video from a mainstream reporter that I thought that was extremely important to share with you, because she is about to say 56 square kilometers or something like that in length. That's her full sentence. Just shows you how fucking stupid these people are that are hired to read the papers that they're given from the higher ups. 56 cubic kilometers in length. I don't even know what I'm saying. What am I saying? Have I said it correctly? I think I did. It's 56
called
kilometers.
a giant raft was formed as a result of an underwater volcanic eruption that happened near the South Pacific island of Tonga. It's believed to be about 58 square miles long. Some scientists say this could help replenish the damaged Great Barrier Reef. However, not everyone agrees it can undo destruction caused by climate change. Mark Aiken joins us now. He is coordinator of the Coral Reef Watch at the National Oceanic and Pumice stones is making its way toward Australia. What's being called a massive sea of pumice stones is making its way toward.
I apologize for the technical difficulties, but I wanted this in a little higher resolution, and I need you to get her audio. So bear with us. Bear with us and listen. This is dab worthy. This is a few minutes of the most bloviating nonsense ever. But what I want you to glean is that what she's basically saying is that this raft of pumice is going to heal the coral reefs. Oh, thank God. When we've already proven that there is no bleaching or coral reef damage. Real scientists have come out and have checked the work of these global warming alarmists and said there is no damage, just normal damage that happens to reefs all the time. And they repair themselves. But now the pumice raft is going to fix it. Check it out.
A massive sea of pumice stones is making its way toward Australia. What's being called a giant raft was formed as a result of an underwater volcanic eruption that happened near the South Pacific island of Tonga. It's believed to be about 58 square miles long. Some scientists say this could help replenish the damaged Great Barrier Reef. However, not everyone agrees it can undo destruction caused by climate change. Mark Aiken joins us now. He is coordinator of the Coral Reef Watch at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Mark, thanks very much for joining us. First of all, can you explain what this sheet of pumice is? How did it end up floating in the ocean?
Well, pumice is a very lightweight rock that is made by the explosion or the production of material by volcanoes. In this case, underwater volcanoes. And it's a very light stone, so it floats on the surface of the water.
And scientists say that this could help the Great Barrier Reef off the coast of Australia. Can you explain that? How might that be possible? It would help replenish the damaged as a result of an underwater volcanic eruption that happened near the South Pacific island of Tonga. It's believed to be about 58 square miles long. Some scientists say this could help replenish the damaged Great
58 square miles long. I like them long. I love them long. 58 square miles long. Anyway, give them a thumbs down and tell them why they're wrong. There's no such thing as 58 square miles long. I do digress. Krakatoa volcano news, eruption updates, and a Krakatoa sun to straight. With that cosmic ray influx, not only do we have the 70,000-foot plume, which might have been a minor plume, we will be checking that from Himawari and other satellites. I was unable to gain access to anything good yet. But I'm going to show you more data, so stick with us. And a Krakatoa volcano sun to straight. Completely looking very similar to the eruptive phase that we saw on Kavert the other night here at Sheveluch. But New eruptive phase in progress seems to be stronger than the intermittent explosions that occurred sporadically during the past weeks. This one has a solid blue line for over 10 minutes, maybe 15 total. And we won't get video for that for days, just like Sheveluch. We're not going to get any confirmation for days. And if they don't want to confirm it, they will not. Trust me. Primer fields much? There's the confirmation data. Where the are we? Here we are. Global warming's a fraud. And there's another bigger version of it. And this raft of rock is taking us to the Sunda Straits, where aviation color code has been raised to red, which means you can't fly over it. 2 color code raised to reds in the last 48 hours. Now, Sheveluch volcano, I come back to the 824 eruption at 70,000 feet. This happened after the 23,000 foot eruption at 7,000 meters, which got many people confused. Now, we're about to show you where the facts come from, and you can either be confused or be enlightened. And if you're one of the channels that wanted to sell me out first thing, David Birch and the Grand Solar Minimum channel, you can fucking suck it. Because I'm not making up this information. I'm interpreting it as a scientist, which neither of you are, by the way. Which is why you look so stupid when you say, it was an error. It was an error and they corrected it. If you can provide a correction for this error from any human or any media source, please do so, because you can't, because you made up an error and you made up the story yourself. And we didn't make it up, because what happened was we were the first people to find it on Volcano Discovery, who our friend Tim Pfeiffer over in Germany proudly sponsors, and everyone should donate to his site because he is as dedicated as I am to the facts. Now, the Sheveluch eruption to 70,000 feet or 2,130 meters is based on a report I'm about to show you, which, if we refresh, which I just did, and watch, it's still here. They didn't, this is an ongoing, this is from Darwin VAAC. This is where all of the volcanic eruption information comes from. Here's the most recent piece of data from right now. And this is coming from Sheveluch again, which is still erupting at Orange. So it just erupted moments ago at Orange. And if you come down through all the code here, you can see that it erupted at flight level 230, which means 23,000 feet. So it just erupted again at 23,000 feet. So let's come to this eruption here. Now, each of these is reported on by someone flying by that watches it and reports on the flight level. So they're either up high or low, and they can see how high it is, and they judge the flight level, and they give this data. This is how VAAC, the Volcanic Ash Advisory Council, gets the information. Committee, whatever it's called. So, moving back from VAAC, we see a Sheveluch eruption on the 24th here. And this one has aviation color code orange coming from Himawari. And this is at flight level 230, 23,000 feet. Okay, and then let's go prior to that. And we can see the third warning back at 812 UTC at Himawari, color code red. This is another 24th eruption that happened at flight level 700. That's 70,000 feet. And the forecasted volcanic ash cloud 6 hours later was still at flight level 700 at 70,000 feet. Now, this plume was estimated to be 20 to 30 kilometers in the data. And then prior to that, Sabancaya. Okay? So we have the last 3 warnings coming from VAAC are a code red at 70,000 feet, a code orange at 23,000 feet, followed by the most recent, just happening moments ago, today, another one at code orange at flight level 230. Are you picking it up? Now, what is flight level? It's the vertical separation of VFR and IFR flights. And it goes by some rule, but the flight level, if it says flight level 350, it's 35,000. Flight level 470, 47,000. Flight level 120, 12,000, and so on and so forth. So if we come to flight level 370, it's 37,000 feet. Flight level 490 is 49,000 feet. Flight level 700, 70,000 feet. That's how you understand flight level if you're not a pilot or a skydiver. I jump out of planes. This is confirmed by the Russian data as well. Now let's come over to Lawrence Solomon. Proof that new ice age has already started. It's stronger than ever, and we couldn't be less prepared. How prepared are you? An underheated planet is a threat to humans. Period. A heated planet is not. Global warming poses no threat to humanity. If CO2 causes temperatures to rise, then we just showed you that forests will green and plants will be prolific and we will all live in an abundant future. However, I started this channel because that's not what is happening in our future. There is a magnetic reversal or excursion that's happening, and that is going to increase cosmic radiation worldwide, cause an extinction event in the next few decades. When our magnetosphere wanes towards that critical 30 to 5% range, it's game time, folks. Those that are prepared could live underground and mitigate the radiation as they make it through. But in the meantime, in the next solar cycle or so, we're going to see massive changes in weather patterns, meridional flow, massive flooding, record snows, 100-year snows. I mean, we're going to be off the charts. At some point, there will be no recorded data to even compare it to. They're going to be like, it's twice as much as the lowest ever on recorded history, because that goes back into the late 1800s. I mean, are you kidding me? I don't even want to talk about this anymore. Where are we at? What is this? Now, I want to talk about some nonsense and close this up. We're almost at a half an hour. In BP's final $20 billion Gulf settlement, the U.S. taxpayers are subsidizing $15.3 billion of that. The huge debacle in the Gulf that polluted all of your food and is giving your relatives and your friends cancer slowly, you're subsidizing. That's the mainstream. That is the deep state. That is the ruse. You're looking at it right here. Pay your taxes to combat climate change while they pollute the fucking oceans, destroy all living life, pollute your fucking food, and they don't give a shit about it because this is where you can look. You're paying for your own death. Ah! Now, I told you all to buy silver. And I also told you to buy Litecoin. I don't want to gloat or any of that. But I told you to buy Litecoin in November at $29, and you would have tripled your money. Fact. I also told you to buy silver in the same time in November. Remember when it was $14? $14.23, I think. Yeah. You would have been up 50% on that, and it's supposed to go to 50 or 150 by next year. Same thing's happening with gold, so I hope you have some gold. $16.50 is the new price point. Hello. Now let's talk about the primer fields. David LaPointe has a Facebook page. It'll be linked below. The primer fields is how he pronounces it. And if you haven't seen these videos, they're some of the most amazing videos ever watched. Look at how 500,000 people watch part 1, but they never watch the rest. It's crazy. So watch part 1, watch part 2, Watch part 3 if you haven't seen them. And then watch David coming out just a few days ago with an update. He's been in hiding. I know I should be. I may be soon. But listen to what he has to say. The Primmerfield Foundation was developed by him while he's been in hiding. And if you just come over here to the Primer Cube and technology transfer, you'll be able to download the technology and make it yourself. Now, if you watch Rex Bear and the Dinas machine, and if you heard about the Bemer machine, same technology. It's electromagnetic field technology, which creates wellness, which is totally hokey. It's not a pill. You just stand near a magnetic field and get well. I know it's hard to believe, but these vortexes exist on Earth, and you can just go there and move there, like I did, or you can buy this machine, which I'm going to be making. Rex and I are going to sit down. We're going to be making hundreds of these. We might even start giving them away through some type of raffle. So check out the revolution in healthcare. Check out the Primer Fields. Check out David LaPointe. But don't check out Survive and Thrive in the Future. Check out our Amazon store. Check it out. Because not only do you not have to donate to the channel, and you give to the channel, you simply survive and thrive in the future by getting these preparedness tools you need. EM1 and the permaculture necessities, as well as hook blades, other Japanese and Korean farming technologies in there. We have an entire Grand Solar Minimum preparedness library, water filtration, life straws, for whole house, organic gardening essentials, long-term food storage, season extenders, survival essentials, shungite, get it for your water, ham radios, wood gasifiers, solar flashlights, UVA-BC Geiger counters, solar generators, CB technology, bomb shelters, storm shelters, sprouting seeds, greenhouses, everything to Scandinavian hatchets, thermal imagers, and telescopes. If it's not in here, tell me, I'll put it in here. If you need it, let's get it. Let's do it together. That's the only way it's going to happen. We love each and every one of you. Thanks to the people that stuck with us. To the people that question the information that I'm sharing, it's probably because you're questionable. Get with the program. Stick with the winners.